What up, YouTube? Overlord here. I want to thank Gadget for throwing my vid up on a 1 minute beat. In one of the comments, somebody asked if I would do a tutorial about making beats that sound like samples. So, first of all, it's inspiration. So I'm gonna just get right into it. Excuse me, I'm in my pajamas. Gotta go to work in a little bit, but I just figured I'd start off in phases. So this video will have different phases. So, the way it works is, first of all, it starts off with inspiration. So, if you got that old soul and certain soul music and beats, bass lines, or rhythms you already know you want to do it some kind of way, then you can just go ahead and play it out or try to get it played out the best way possible. Or get somebody to play it if you know what instrumental is. Now, if you're not always there in that zone, best thing to do is get inspired. And that's like listening to some old records or something like that. And that's where I start. I generally start with something I get inspired by. But the thing that drove it the most was listening to a sample that had like vocals, and I had to do a whole lot of stuff just to get the instrumental parts I wanted. You know, a lot of times I would take little pieces and then try to pull it back together. Sometimes with success, sometimes not. But I would always get inspired first by something. So I would listen to some records, or if you don't have a record collection, go on YouTube, listen to some soul, or the type of genre that you're trying to capture that has that old sound, and get inspired first. So that's the first thing. First thing is to get inspired, and always, and the most important thing of all is keep a super duper open mind. Alright, because a lot of people that do this hip hop stuff, and a lot of diehards like, man, I only sample for vinyl, I only do this. Well, to do this technique, you got to really have an open mind, in my opinion. You got to have a super duper open mind. You got to be willing to do what's necessary to get it done. And if you're not if you're not an instrumentalist, that's perfectly fine, because it's producers that we can do just enough to get what we need to get done. And sometimes it might mean pulling pieces from different places and different things. So in that instance, construction kits can be your friend. It's a lot of construction kits out there, a lot of companies out there that's doing things that got that old sampled sound. So you can start off there and chop up those things, and then just add some crackle to it. So that's one technique. One of the companies that do it pretty well is MSX2 Audio. Those guys are nice. Another one that does it is Patch Banks. They're very good. Big Fish will have some stuff sometime on their sites. I like to go to Producer Loops, and they have a variety of companies that they work with that has stuff. And just look for vinyl sample construction kits or something like that. And I'll find a bunch of stuff out there where people are doing things emulating that old sound. Sample Phonics do a good job as well. So you may want to start there. Some of the classic sample construction kits that out there that has that raw sound, that jazzy type, you know, Dilla type sound, is by a company called Equipped and E-Labs. They do great work. One of the classics is like a Smoker's Delight, Smoker's Relight, and Premier Beats. Those are great things. They used to be my like top secret arsenal joints when I used to do things. And people are like, yo, where you get that sample? And this is when we like, yo, we don't tell where we get our samples from. So a lot of guys like, oh man, you always find the crispy, crunchy samples. And man, a lot of those joints weren't like samples. So it just, you know, that's how good they do their work. Those people, E-Labs, Equipped, they really, now they're a company called Raw Cuts, so you definitely want to check them out too. So as far as getting like little snippets and things like that to add to your samples, into your beats as well, will give you that authentic, like, you know, I dug in the crates type sound. So inspiration and knowing the tools to get it done. And especially in this day and age with music, the way music is now, people are going to be more critical at getting at you for sample clearances and stuff like that, because, you know, it is what it is. The digital age has changed everything. But with that, it opened up a mass array of opportunity for those who have an open mind, think outside the box, to see what it's all about. You can be your own island. You can be your own company in the confines of your own home without having to rely, excuse me, it's early, without having to rely on some big major record company or record label getting a deal. really, if your grind is tight and your hustle is tight, man, you can make your own thing go. You know, you can make your own thing pop off. So I just wanted to put that out there. So thank you. This is Overlord. Next, I will show how I get inspired by a sound, and then how I try to formulate something to make something original. Until that time. It's part 2. I talked about inspiration, so let me kind of show you what my mind think when I'm trying to accomplish the task of making a beat that sound like it's from vinyl, or something that sound like I might have sampled it possibly. First, I'll listen to some things to get inspired. Like the beginning of this is really cool sounding. So there's a lot of things going on in that track. You're hearing like some keys, some roads, and things of that nature. And don't just think of them being that way, because sometimes I'll hear a keyboard lead or lead part and think of, hey, how would that sound as a bass line, and vice versa. So just keep your ears open. It's a classic. We all know this song. Alright, I think I'm gonna use this.
Nothing new to me. Oh, I've made love more times than just a few. But I never knew the meaning of ecstasy, girl, until each sweet love to you.
Alright, we're gonna start right here. Alright. Now, the reason I sampled that is because I want to listen to that, and then I'm gonna try to play to it and see what it inspires me to come up with. So it's a lot of different instruments in there that I can pull from, a lot of different things I can focus on to try to create something original. All right. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the MPC and to the keyboard and see what we can come up with. All right. As I pushed stopped on the record button when I was listening to the track, I decided to go with the chorus, which is this.
It's got to be magic. Oh, it's got to be magic. Oh, it's got to be magic.
So listen to that. So that's what I hear in it. Boom. So let's play it. Boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. So that's kind of what I'm playing. So kind of hear it together.
It's got to be magic. It's got to be magic. It's got to be magic.
Now the cool thing about that is that's not the real bass line in the song. The notes are very similar, but it has its own thing. So that's why I said you're being inspired by the sample, but you're not duplicating or recreating the sample. So here's my bass line. Alright, so now it's just a matter of finding the right bass that kind of got that old sound. That's why I like using Bass Engine, because it has some crunchy sounding basses. Funeral. Let's try Funeral. That sound really crunchy. So I'm gonna start off with that. I'm gonna make this beat 83 BPMs. When you're doing instruments, it's like MIDI, so, well, it is MIDI. But what I'm saying is, you can start off slow. You can always speed it up. Starting off slow allows you to get your keys right, especially if you're not a fluid musician. So, start off slow. It'll help you out. Alright, I'm doing step by step. I could use the Advanced 49 to add all my basses together and just have it all on one track. I'm doing it step by step so you kind of get an idea. So that's giving me my crunchy old sound. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to another track. I'm gonna open up another instance of Bass Engine. Right? And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy track 1 and track 2. So I have my window button, then copy, and we're gonna add that to track 2. Now, track 1 got the crunchy stuff in it, but I don't want it to be overpronounced. So I'm gonna reduce that. I'm gonna lower that track. Because I really just want that grimy, staticky sound from that one. And from track 2, I want the clean. So now I got them both. So that's on track 2. And track 1, if I solo it, is this. So now I got the two playing together. Now, track 2, I want that bass to be that, bright. So I want to go with something a little warmer, like maybe the woo bass or 90s turntable. See how that sounds. So a crunchy bass already. I don't have to add vinyl crackle to it because both of the samples I'm using have artifacts in it that make it sound that could have possibly been sampled. Now, in both of these, want to adjust the attack. Because I don't want it to knock as hard. I wanted to for it to kind of swoop in. So the attack will take off some of that blunt hit, that initial hit. So I'm going to the track 1, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to adjust the attack because I don't want it to hit. So when I have my drums, I won't have a whole lot of things. I won't have that confliction there. So the drums, I want the drums to do the initial hit. So there we go. Got a bass line. So the next thing is to find some type of chord to go with it. So I'm going to track 3. I'm trying to find a keyboard sound. And it's just, this is nothing I'm going to keep. So, but I just want you to get an idea. So I'm going to actually use a piano. Alright, so I'm gonna blend these chords with it. To get a little further on that piano, I'm gonna run it through a vintage. I'm running through it's like it's going through a SP 1200 ring. Now I like my bass. But I'm gonna change my first bass from the Funeral because I like the what am I trying to say? I like the 90s vinyl one. So now I'm gonna go for a warmer bass. So let's go. I'm gonna try the woo bass. Now, if I wanted to, I can go and I can add strings and things of that nature. And then I could just take the whole thing and then chop it up. So, next one, I'm probably gonna add some strings or something else to it. So I'm gonna come back to this, and we'll rock and roll for it. Hi YouTube, had to work today, so I'm back from work. So I'm revisiting what I had earlier, and let's do this. Let's read this. But anyway. So that's what we had earlier, and I said I was going to add some other elements to it. So I went to another VST. This time I'm using the UVI workstation, one of the beat controls, and this thing has some cool like phrases and drums and stuff that you can do and add stuff together. So I took a piece. So I recorded that in. So this is how it sounds together.
so it gives it a nice feel. So it's kind of dark, and as you see, and as I mentioned, the sample that I used originally just inspired the bass line, then inspired other things. So you would never thought that this beat was inspired from elements from that record earlier. That's why I say think outside the box and think outside the scope, because you never know where this journey will take you. So this is the track. And this sound like a vinyl, something that I would have sampled off vinyl, probably from some type of movie soundtrack or something like that. You know, it just sounds like one of those things. So, you know, it could be soulful, it could be classical, it could, you know, and then at the same time, I can take the sample, then chop it up. And the cool thing is I threw no drums in it. But if I threw drums in it, I could really like probably get a little crazier with it. But the cool thing with this UVI beat station thing is it has drums, so I can kind of mess with that too. So if I let this drum track play with what I got, you can hear it. So here we go. There you have it. I'll play the track at the end so you can listen to it.
So there you have it, YouTube. Like I was saying, if you listen to the original record that I used and listen to what I ended up with, totally different things. That's why I said I'd like to use vinyl, and I said I was geeked up on a 1 minute beat. That I'm geeked up on making things sound like audio samples. I just take other things and get inspired. There's other techniques that I do to make things sound more vinyl-like as well, and a lot of it is using construction kits. But I'll do another video later on that one. So let's just call this one example number 1. And as you can see, everything in there that I used was pure VSTs. Pure VSTs, no samples, not even a construction kit on that particular one. The next video I'll do will be on using construction kits and taking elements from construction kits and then adding some VST instruments to it to get that effect. So thanks for watching. Truly appreciate it. Enjoy the beat.